Hi everyone, this is me again, probably the third video of the week, of the month, of the quarantine period. And today I thought I'll share with you what I spend my time on during a day within this outstanding times we're living in today. So I start and end every single day with journaling what happened to me and my basic thoughts in a journal that looks literally like this, which is just another diary type of book or journal you can buy somewhere, you can wean, you can do whatever you want. Well, that's the one I'm using, and I usually do a page per day. My writing is absolutely horrible, just like literally any lawyer or medical doctor would have it. That would be my number one type of thing. The next thing I do, I pick up a book. So today, just like many days before during the quarantine, I'm trying to finish this book called The Leopard, which is a novel by no one else but Giuseppe di Lampedusa. Apparently, he was a super fancy Italian writer from middle of the 20th century. He even won one of the biggest prizes in literature in Italy that was in place in that time of his living. However, this particular wonderful book doesn't really sit well with me just because, everything in it is so familiar. It's so political. It's full of drama, full of passion. It's just so Italian that no matter how much I love that place and their language and everything about them, it's just a little too much for me. So I'm stumbling on page 30, literally. Page 30, if you can see that. Hopefully, by the end of this entire craziness around us, I will be done with it. The next one I'm reading is Umberto Eco. Yeah, of course, another Italian. This particular piece is called Numero Zero. Well, Numero Zero is one of those little books among so many books that Umberto Eco wrote when he was still alive. This one, really nice one, because you can read it within one day. Yes, especially now when you have nothing else to do but sit at home and listen to some politicians telling you what's going to happen or not going to happen to you tomorrow. You can easily read this book within one day. Enjoy. The next one I would highly recommend you to read, and it's going to probably take your entire quarantine, is this particular piece. It's really big, and you can see I did try to read it. I didn't succeed, but this is literally the collected works of Khalil Gibran. If you don't know who Khalil Gibran is, now is your time to go on Google and do your research. He's quite an amazing guy, born and raised in Lebanon, moved to the US early 20th century, and his pieces are all about spirit. The spirit in us, the spirit around us, the spirit in the world, the spirit outside of this world. It's all about God and faith and, how you survive the hard times. If you really need some emotional support and find yourself or faith in your life, this is the time you open up this heavy book, Collected Works by Khalil Gibran. And by the way, his real name is Khalil, not Kahlil as they write it these days. But unfortunately in the US, he had to change his first name just because of some spelling issues. So eventually he was published under Khalil Gibran name, which wasn't his real name. But I'm just saying. The next one, not the last one, is this little piece called Little Fires Everywhere. This type of book I call easy read. If you were stuck on one of your vacations throughout your March break or any other thing in your life that you happen to be stuck at this time, you gotta pick up something like this because it's an easy read. It's good for your flights. It's good for being at the airport and waiting to be picked up by one of those government sent airplanes, hell knows where, hell knows why. Since you have nothing else to do while you're waiting, this is the book. It's good, it's easy, it's New York Times book review type of approved type of book, so I'm sure you will enjoy it if you like something like an easy read. Definitely not my favorite, but go ahead, give it a try. And last but not least, yeah, I know. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Anyway, it's one of those really old Soviet style published books that I brought from my beloved home country and home city of Moscow. The reason why I brought it is because it's published in Moscow, it's pretty old, and I need something that reminds me of home. That's number one. Number two, it's in pure French. It's like a real French, like the real deal type of French. It's pretty thick. It's a very little font. It's the original writing and the original publishing, the way it was apparently published back in the 19th century. And again, it's a historical book about what was going on in France in the 19th century. And whatever the stories there, it's full of drama. Same as with any Italian novel or book, French are really tough to read, not because they're tough to read per se, but because of all the emotions and the drama that's going on at the back of the entire story. So I would suggest learn some French. And because, in case you don't know, this is all in French, I started learning French. That's probably the biggest deals for me throughout this quarantine time. And by the way, I know I pronounce this term in such a wrong way, but guess what? I think I have a right to do so just because I'm not a native speaker and speak how many do I speak? Yeah, another 8 languages in my life. I think I can survive with just one little mistake. So, try it out. If you cannot read it, by the way, the author is Constant Chantebleu Musset. Literally. Constant Chantebleu Musset. I think this is the right pronunciation. Try it out. Any piece of novel, any piece of whatever writing you find by this particular guy. If you like historical pieces, this is the guy to read. And by the way, time to learn some languages, right? So on this very positive note, I'm very sorry I'm not smiling too much this time just because it has been very overwhelming for me learning that all the flights have been canceled back to my motherland. And it doesn't really matter if you're bipatrite, multi-trite, and how many passports and citizenships you have. Your home is your home, and it's always inside of you. And for me, it's the childhood days in Moscow, just because it's the place I grew up. There's nothing you can do. It's always with me. You're always in my heart. I'm sending out all the good vibes, all the positive things, and I do hope that we all make it through and become and come out even stronger on the other side. Peace.